Hi everyone, my name is Jemson Abanilia and I am here to discuss to you about misplaced and dangling modifier. So what is the meaning of the word modify or modifier? Well, the word modify means to change. So it is to change the meaning of something, to change the meaning of a situation, of a thing, of a person, and so on. Let's go to the next slide. Here shows an example of a misplaced modifier. On the first sentence, it says here, the man's broken bike was fixed. And on the second sentence, it says that the broken man's bike was fixed. Both sentences, they have the same modifier, which is broken. And on the first sentence, broken here modifies the word bike, which means that what is broken is the bike, and it was fixed. And in the second sentence, broken, the word broken, it modifies the word man, which seemed to be unusual because it says in the statement that the broken man's bike was fixed. So broken modifying man says that implies that man is the one that is broken. And imagine we're riding a bike, a broken man riding a bike, and he got it fixed. It says something unusual. And this is an example of a misplaced modifier. That's why it is important to place your modifier correctly. Let's go to the next slide. This is another example. So here, the first sentence, it says, hungry, the donut was eaten by me. And on the second sentence, it says, hungry, I ate the donut. Well, on the first sentence, we have here the modifier hungry. Also, on the second sentence, we have the modifier hungry. And on the first sentence, hungry modifies the word donut. And on the second sentence, hungry modifies I. I, which is you or me whatsoever. I, no pronoun. Well, here, hungry, it modifies the donut, which implies that who is hungry is the donut, which is really unusual. Don't you agree? Because how can a donut be hungry? So here it says, hungry, the donut was eaten by me. It might sound correct, but when we observe the modifier, it's really wrong because hungry modifies donut. While on the second sentence, hungry is placed next to I, which means that it's implying that you are the hungry one and you're the one who also ate the donut. So this is the correct sentence here, hungry. And this is one example of a dangling modifier. And this is where it shows also that it is important to make sure that you particularly put the word that you are modifying next to your modifier. Let's go to the next slide. This is the big question, the biggest question. What is the difference between misplaced and dangling modifier? Well, actually, there is no difference, and it doesn't. Um, it really doesn't mean anything. I mean, it doesn't matter, because as long as you know that there is something wrong with your sentence, and you can fix it and whatsoever, well then you'll know that there's nothing. I mean, there is no important to know what particular modifier it is, if it is misplaced or dangling modifier. So that's the answer. Let's go to the next slide. We have here some sample problems, sample sentences here. We have here the first sentence. Let me just get my chalkboard here. On the first sentence, we have, on paper plates, we ate the sausage. On paper plates here is the one that is the modifier. This is the modifier on paper plates. And if we read this one, because it is important, as I said earlier, it is important to particularly put the one that you are modifying next to your modifier. So if you can observe, on paper plates as the modifier, it modifies here the word we, which is implying and sounds unusual also, because what it says here on paper plates, we ate the sausage, and what the modifier is modifying is the word we, which means that we are on paper plates. Just observe. So what are we going to do with this one? For me, I'm gonna do this one. So here, we ate the sausage on paper plates. So what is being placed? We ate the sausage next, we ate the sausage on paper plates. Which word is next to the modifier on paper plates? So the word next to it is sausage. And this is correct, because what you're supposed to be modifying is the sausage here. So you should place the sausage next to your modifier, which is on paper plates, which now implies that what's on paper plates is the sausage. Okay, let's get to the next statement, or next sentence. I saw a dollar walking home. Walking home here is our modifier, and what next to it is the word dollar, which, if you're going to observe, having the modifier walking home and modifying the word dollar, there's something wrong to it. Does the dollar has a foot to walk home on its own? So what are we going to do here? We are supposed to place walking home next to you, next to the word I, because I is the one who saw the dollar walking home. So what are we going to do? Let's do this one. So walking home is our modifier, and now it says walking home I saw a dollar. And your modifier is walking home, and it modifies the word I, which means that you are the one. It implies that I is the one who's walking home and saw a dollar. Okay, let's get to the next sentence, number 3. So in the third sentence, it says here that because he was drunk, the boss gave Kevin a penalty. This is a Dangling modifier, actually. So because he was drunk is the modifier here, and in this statement, what it modifies is the boss, which seemed to be wrong because he was the boss and he was drunk, and he gave Kevin a penalty, which is unusual because the boss is not following the rule or whatsoever is the law, and he was the one who gave Kevin the penalty, which is very wrong. So me personally, to fix this one, in order to put Kevin, because he is actually the one who's being modified here, in order to put Kevin next to our modifier, what I'm going to do here is here. Our modifier is because he was drunk. So what I did is, because he was drunk, Kevin received a penalty. And what I did, this is me personally, what I did is that I totally eliminated the boss and this phrase here and placed it with received, which is now correct because our modifier is because he was drunk. This is our modifier, and what it modifies is Kevin. Who is modifying to is Kevin. So right now it is correct because it implies that Kevin is the one who received the penalty. This is one example of a dangling modifier, but as I said earlier, it doesn't really matter. As long as you know how to fix it and you see something wrong with it, well then, that's it. You don't have to particularly identify if it is a dangling or a misplaced modifier. And also, we have to always remember that you should be placing the word that you are modifying next to your modifier. You should place who you are modifying to your modifier. That would be all. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.